Good morning. My name is Kirsty Dignam and I'm here to look at the energies this week for today's Monday's Musings. This is actually the third time I've recorded this video. The first time I wasn't sure that the sound was being recorded. The second time I ended up going into a narrative of Christmas and what Christmas was for me, and it feels really applicable to stand back from it all, stand back from anything that we assume, anything that has, I can hear the song, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, go round in my head. Letting go of traditions. That's what I really feel for this week's energy, just letting go of the restrictions that come with how we believe things should be based on our old stories. Christmas aside, life in general. So I haven't really had many insights leading up to this video, and that feels quite clean and fresh and clear. The ones that I have had, yesterday I ran the most beautiful sound bath and there was deep karmic cleansing occurring within family units, which this time of year always brings things to the surface, right? And there's always something to shift within the family soul this time of year. So being very aware of that and just taking a step back and pausing and looking at what is being reflected, what is almost yearning to be let go of. That's what I feel. The other insight was today's guidance. The Devil and the Lovers card came up. I'm recognising underneath it all that the shadow is part of the light. I wanted to say still part of the light. And that feels quite present, quite relevant. Teeth are falling out. Being present in the darkness, being present in the stillness as we lead up to the solstice is going to really impact the amount of light that we are able to embody. Which is ironic, right? Because at this time of year, we're so busy. So it's about looking at what being present means and the assumption of stillness. The assumption of stillness, it doesn't mean that in order to meditate we have to be stationary. Presence is to be in what it is we are doing, to embody what it is we are doing. Whether that is drinking our coffee, whether that is reading the cards, whether that is eating a meal with our family, whether that is, stressing about something in particular, being present in that, giving it our all, okay, and then saying, right, that is now done. Respect, that's what I hear. Giving respect to whatever is occurring for us this week and the relationships as a result and the path that is being illuminated in front of us. And the shadow, really stepping into that darker aspect of who we are in order to really embrace the light now. So when we do shadow work, remembering the other aspect of shadow work is to regain the wisdom. So we can look at patterns that we do in our life, or patterns that have been handed down to us, or patterns in relationships or scenarios, and we can heal every different part of it. But unless we are going to move forward with the very shit that we have sieved, nothing is going to change. So really this week in particular, let the biggest gift, the biggest presence be what it is you choose to take forward into next year. Recognizing that it's not the journey. Now we know this, but it's not the journey that got you to where you are, but where you are. It's you as a person. It's you and everything you have discovered about yourself this year in particular, and the relationship that you now have with yourself and your own divine connection that is going to be guiding you all through 2023. So really establishing that on a firm foundation, really respecting that and the sacredness of who you are. We can often point to situations and family members, particularly this time of year, or concerns outside of us that seem out of our control. What we can do is to really reflect on where we are in that. Really reflect on our reactions, on our energy. Now, this isn't something that we don't know. But as we go into 2023, it almost feels like, and I feel a sigh of relief, but actually a reminiscence of the lessons, of the hardships. It doesn't feel as if, well, the first few months maybe, but it doesn't feel as if that intensity will follow us through to 2023, and that can be a real relief. But actually it's remembering what they have taught us, what these lessons, these situations, these scenarios, these hardships, if you will, these stressful moments, this darkness, what it has taught us. And by stepping into that, that's where we really open up to the light available beyond it all. And by doing that, the lesson doesn't need to repeat on that level. So the other insight that I got today, I'm actually wearing lipstick, which is very unheard of for me. But I have a few blisters that have come up from being run down from repetitive cycles, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And it's on my lips. It's on the area that voices what I'm going through. When I went to get the lipstick out of my lipstick box, out of my makeup box in the bathroom, there was a rune book, as you do in my makeup box. This is how often I use my makeup box, but there was a rune book in there. So I must have been reading this book while slapping something on my face at one point. And I opened the page randomly, and well, I'll share it with you. So it's by Ralph Bloom, The Book of Runes. Really feeling very drawn to that energy today. So I've got several decks of cards out to look at the journey of this week, but actually the ones I'm feeling really drawn to aren't the shamanic ones, they're not the light seers ones, they're the runic tarot. And that feels like a bit of a Viking energy, like a little bit of a picking what light we're going to take forward, choosing what battles to let go of, and what it is we're going to stand for, our values, our authenticity next year. And we have a couple of weeks before that comes up, but as we lead into the Capricorn full moon, really looking at the things that have given us solid grounding, solid footing, and taking that forward, looking at the aspects that have helped us to grow and to climb that mountain of our own enlightenment this week. Not the journey, but the very physical energy behind it. So that grit, that determination, honing in on that this week to take forward. So the pages that I did open to were Northits, which is constraint, necessity and pain, which is about identifying your shadow, your dark or repressed side, ironically, and where your growth may have been stunted. Recognizing why it may have been stunted, including our own secondary gains, and looking at the shadow aspect behind that now. So digging deeper, even with the shadow work, going deeper now. It feels like it's become quite comfortable. Oh yes, that's because I don't value myself. Okay, why? And what are you going to do about it? What are you going to take forward with this? Or recognition isn't going to be enough next year. It is about the actions, it is about the changes. So I can see the Chariot, and I can see on the one hand awareness, and on the other hand what we do with that awareness being key next year. Okay, so knowing that these restraints are necessary, that the pain can actually be necessary, don't shoot the messenger here, but also recognizing that there's hold-ups for a reason, that we may have experienced these things for a reason, to get that grit and that determination that we're going to take forward. But it isn't about taking the journey forward, but what we have gained. Okay, that is shadow work. So time to pay off old debts and restore the harmony. And that's that karmic clearing, especially in family situations. So the other page I then pulled behind it all, actually I haven't marked it, which is really interesting, because the other page that I'd opened it out onto was Gibo, which was gift. Okay, and the fact that I haven't marked that really speaks volumes to me. It is about marking the transitions. It is about celebrating the gifts that we have gained from things in a healthy way, not in a way that's going to hold us back, not in a way where we are continuously reflecting on situations that don't help to move us forward, but in a way of, okay, I've learnt that, I don't need to do that anymore, this is what I've gained, this is what I'm taking forward. Really fine sifting through everything this week in particular. So the first page that I opened the book up on was the Great Invocation by Alice Bailey. So with the solstice just around the corner, so I mean this week we have 21st Yule, the solstice, the return of the light, 23rd Capricorn, full moon, getting that solid footing of this influx of light that's going to come in. And then we have Christmas, and then we have the new year. So one after the other, the energy this week. So with that in mind, I want to share the Great Invocation by Alice Bailey. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the centre where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the centre which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Now, I was going to cut out halfway through and say, obviously, it's not just at men and it's not just at women and it's not a gender thing. The energy has shifted. For me, in particular, the energy has shifted. So if you feel that that triggered you, it hasn't shifted for you yet, and to really look at that. What feels important this week is to pick the battles. Really pick the battles. Really look at the bigger picture behind any knee-jerk reactions in order to do a deeper healing work. Not surface level anymore. Surface level is not going to be enough as we go into 2023. It is the chariot. It is Cancerian. It is the water. It is the psyche. It is the subconscious. It is about going deep emotionally. Surface level is not going to placate the mind or the feelings this week. Okay, we are invoking that light back in order to do that, we have to open to our own darkness. So with that in mind, I feel a real clearing of the third eye because my nose is running, which always happens when my third eye is clearing. And that feels like one of the shifts where the light in particular wants to go this week with the solstice, because there is no point trying to achieve anything if you cannot visualize it. I need to take that on board myself. There is no point trying to manifest something that you are unable to psychically see, to see with the eyes of the shaman, to imagine in every cell of your body. So this week, taking time to really think about what you would like. And if you can't think about that in terms of belongings, people, whatever, how you would like to feel, that's the key. How you would like to feel is going to open you to your own vision. And trusting that this week. Okay. So, Tower on the bottom of the pack. Oh, right. There's some interesting energy, isn't there? Because on the one hand, I feel like Tower on the bottom of the pack, and it's like, oh, really, again? And then on the other hand, it's like, yes, yes, I'm so excited because things need to change and shift. And at the bottom, we have Queen of Pentacles. So it's being grounded this week in any changes that occur, knowing that they are needed. They are needed to really help clear, in particular today, the energy, really clear the path for the light. For the magic. Okay. So let's be like the Queen of Pentacles. Let's really ground, really embody, because I can feel a bit hazed out with it all. I can hear what goes up must come down. Enjoying the highs for what they are, and when it starts to come down, knowing that it's about grounding that high into the body. And as we do so, anything that doesn't match that light is going to shift and leave the physical form. So anything that comes up as a result is just energy. It's just energy moving. Okay, so we have the Two of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, taking time, and the Devil underneath, taking time to restore the balance, the physical balance needed. Okay, avoiding that knee-jerk reaction of when we feel something, having to fix it, having to do something about it, having to heal it, having to shift it. Just observe, step back, Okay. Energy this week and how to best navigate it. Seven of Pentacles. Now, what I was feeling is growth. I was feeling that actually just observing, we can do this. We've really had a few years where we've had to reconnect to divine timing, you know, with the pandemic, where we've had to really look at our own separation issues, our own judgments, our own values, really doing the work on ourselves. And now it just feels like observing the last bits, observing the last bits of debris to leave. That's what there's something else. There's something else there, but could very well be the attitude that there's something else there. Really feeling into that. Just letting it go. Letting it go. Now I hear the song Auld Lang Syne. Just, yeah, letting it go. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Gosh, there's 2 for Friday. Okay, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Overall, so I need to move these along a little bit, which is what I feel. Moving things along. Okay, let's move things along now. Softly, gently. The energy feels quite gentle considering the amount of major arcanas here. The energy feels quite gentle. And it's gentle with the masculine. So underneath is the Seven of Pentacles, and it feels very much the more grounded our actions are this week, the more we are going to see how much we've grown through the endurances that have occurred, but not so much the endurances themselves. I cannot stress this enough, but the physical strength that we have gained, that grit and determination of, you know, when the pandemic started, we all learned how to recook the way that they would of our generations before us, you know, the dividing of food. And I saw, if I had £1 for the amount of people I saw that made homemade hummus and homemade products and things like that, and we really regathered that innate survival wisdom, not the knee-jerk reaction of survival, not the energetic version of it, but the actions as a result, you know. And that really is key this week. How grounded are we in our own magic? How grounded are we in our own actions? That's going to be the very thing that moves us forward from the trials and tribulations, the recognition of how much we have grown. Okay. So overall, the energy of this week, we have the Four of Cups, and we have that opportunity to take a breath and to breathe, to pause, to really connect to our body, to really connect with what is going on in order to balance our light and our shadow, provided we don't let boredom get in the way, provided we can just make the most of the gaps, guys, this week. That's what I'm really hearing. Make the most of the gaps here, because you can see these gorgeous, I say you can see these, but I'm going to let you focus on the card here. If I pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. 2 beautiful horses. Okay, right in the distance, guided by 2 beautiful energies, a dark horse and a light horse. And in this card, the light horse is very young, and it does feel as if we are embracing that inner child energy. It does feel as if we don't almost respect how grown up that energy is, and we still see that as very young. Remembering that that energy is a very creation of the shadow, remembering that it is the older horse that has created the younger horse. So again, recognizing, making sense of it all by realizing that it is the shadow that creates the light. Okay, it is the endurances that create the grit and the determination, but also being very aware that we may not feel or resonate with that anymore. Sitting with that, because things have changed, times have changed, and maybe, just maybe, it is time to look at our own judgments around that. Because on the Monday we do have judgment. That is the card that we have here. Okay, and you can see she is a survivor. This character, this feminine character, has wings that are torn, that are muddy, that are dirty, and she's on the battlefield. She's walked the path, you know, she's been there, done that, okay? Recognizing any judgments that may come from that, recognizing any views that we may have on how other people's journeys need to be in comparison to ours, how our own journey now needs to be in comparison to what it was. Do we still need to battle? Do we still need to fight? Do we still need to hold those judgments and those values? Maybe. If it works for you, if this is the energy that you resonate with, it is also having no judgment on that also. Recognizing your values, standing firm in them. That is the key this week. Because the more we stand firm in what is authentic to us, the less likely we are to judge. There's a quote by Carl Jung, and I don't think no, it's Carl Rogers. I haven't got it written down, I don't think. Basically, the more comfortable we are with ourselves, the less likely we are to judge others. And that is key this week. Where is this judgment coming from? What is being reflected back here? I'm very much have always been of a path of survival. And I do very much feel as if no one can do the work for us. I can be out of balance on that and believe that everything needs to be a struggle sometimes, or at least find reason behind unnecessary struggles. And that's the key this week. Looking at any reasons you may have found behind unnecessary struggles, and where does the judgment come from that? So on the Tuesday we have the Four of Swords, and we have a wonderful opportunity just to let things go. We don't need to do anything, we can just watch and observe on the Tuesday. So this is almost like a Viking funeral boat. You can't actually see. Yeah, no, you can. You can. It is being set alight, so it is a Viking funeral boat. So letting things go, just observing in sacred transition. So celebrating that end point on the Tuesday, saying, okay, that was then. I'm drawing the line. I'm not doing that anymore. This is where I'm now moving on to, and just having peace with that on the Tuesday. I can hear the song Brother in Arms, and the reason I can hear it is because I was very drawn to the fact that the characters are all masculine here again. Masculine energy would be our mind, yes? So really just letting all parts of our ideas, our thoughts, our values, our judgments come together, find the things that we want to take forward and let go of the ones that we don't. Because on the Wednesday we have the Fall, which is just beautiful in time for the solstice. Yes, it would be on the Wednesday. We have the Fall energy. We literally have an opportunity to walk another journey, starting afresh as the light returns to guide and protect us. And the light is our own light. The light is our own purpose. And on the Wednesday, having let go of many values and judgments that perhaps aren't even ours, that have been inherited from society or family or situations or our own past, on the Wednesday we can actually move forward with a new vision. And that's where it comes down to that clearing, that the light wants to come in on the Wednesday to the third eye, but also being able to physically see what it is we're heading towards without the past, without I just see this big veil. So today when I walked my dog outside, the energy felt more like Samhain. It felt more like the veil between the worlds. That's what I could really feel. And my husband said this morning, it's really dark outside. It's unusually dark outside. And I actually said to him then, yes, because we need to walk through this darkness over the next few days before the light can return. And that's what I really feel by the Wednesday, that veil has been lifted, that sight is clearer on the Wednesday. So on the Monday and the Tuesday, allowing the clearing to happen, knowing that it's about standing in our authentic self as a result. And on the Thursday we have the Magician. And I love this because he's actually pointing up. As above, so below. Now what I do see is a more shadow aspect of this as well. So where is it? I've asked you for X, Y, Z, and remembering as above, so below. So you don't really see much here in regards to the below aspect. Looking at that Thursday, how do our actions match what it is we want? How do our actions align with what it is we are asking Source for? recognizing that that is part of our growth. That is part of the contract. So the bit that I see here, the horn at the bottom, I see that really, really clear towards the ground. Okay, down here, the cup. And what I see there is every time we're asking from up here, we're saying, this is what I'm agreeing to do down here. So being very aware of that on the Thursday, very, very aware of that. And stepping up. That's what I hear, stepping up emotionally, being okay with knowing if you're going to ask for this, then it's this that is going to be asked back from you. On the Friday, we have 2 cards, and it's the Hermit and the 3 of Wands. So in those times of uncertainty, or in those times of, I hear the word emotional dissonance. On the Friday, taking time out, right, at a really busy time, right? Taking time out. I mean, what would Friday be? Is it the day before Christmas Eve? Yeah, I think it is. Taking time out the day before Christmas Eve. Madness. But it's there, and it's that taking time out that is actually going to help things move forward. On the Friday, we do have that full moon. So even if it's 5 minutes to yourself, or 3 minutes, it may be here, but even if it's a few minutes to yourself with the full moon, taking time to look at the moon. Just look at the moon. You know, when we talk about magic, ceremonies can be as humongous or simple as you want. Cooking, I've said it before, but cooking a meal for your family at Christmas is ceremony. Yeah, being more present. I want this to be the best meal ever, or I'm so grateful for my family, whatever. Being more present as you do these ceremonies. My mum used to have one on a full moon, and it would be, you would jangle all the coins in your pocket, and you'd look at the full moon and you'd ask for your needs to be met. It can be as simple as that, and really remembering that magic can be simple as well on the Friday is going to help us move forward. So on the Wednesday with the solstice, we find this new light, and on the Friday we're asked to take this new light forward. Okay. On the Saturday we have the Page of Wands, so we have literally taken the Hermit's wand, Christmas Eve, and we are taking it forward here, okay? And you can see here that it feels a little bit too much for him, but come the summer, with the sunflowers in the background, all will be well. We will learn to balance this almost responsibility that will come in on Christmas Eve. And the responsibility that is coming in on Christmas Eve is all about growth. It is all about growing into our sun, our light. It is, again, the full on Wednesday, and the solstice is going to return an aspect of our soul almost that will then lead into new ideas on the Thursday, and recognizing that as we align with those ideas, we are going to change, we are going to shift more into the shamanic, healing, grounded energy that is now needed to move forward. On the Saturday, we are going to be given insights on how to do that as we lead into the Sunday and the remainder of the year. So it really does feel, come the Sunday, Boxing Day, this week is like a clear up. That's what it feels like mop up in aisle 3. That's what it feels like, a real chance to get everything sorted, to look at our judgments, to let what needs to go, to be open to a new journey now with new ideas, new creations, really, really, really stepping into the wisdom that actually we've gained all year and the last few years, and preparing to take that forward. Because on the Sunday, isn't it Sunday Christmas Day? Yes, yes. On the Sunday, on Christmas Day, that's it. Yeah, we are starting to move forward. It could be an emotional day. That could also be left over from the past. So it's only going to be emotional if we let it be. Okay, it's going to be whatever you make it. Christmas Day. Really, really feel that, because it is about you taking the lead of your own direction, of your own life now. Okay, so 29 minutes. Let's have a little look. What have we got here? What have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcanas. 5 turning points of fate this week in a week where there's only 7 days. That's pretty impressive, pretty full on. Okay, so let's have a look. Nearly hid the Fool underneath it all then. Let's have a look. So that one came first, then that one, then that one, then that one. So we have Judgment, the Fool, the Magician, the Hermit, and the Chariot. Really looking at anything that is holding us back or that we may want to take forward. Our values, our core beliefs, not our core wounds. That's what I hear. There's a difference between our core beliefs and our core wounds. They are one and the same of the same coin, but it is about remembering not to take the wound forward, but the actual belief behind it now, what we have gained behind it now. Journeying light definitely this week. You know, we have the Fool. It is about finding the light in the situation, and we may have to dig this week. We may have to really sift through some heavy duty fertilizer in order to find the very seeds underneath it this week, but they are there, and it's almost like a rehearsal like a dress rehearsal for 2023. Okay, so really looking at our judgments behind things and ourselves and our own ability here, finding the seeds within our own light, taking that forward, creating magic with what is in front of us in every situation, because this is the Hermit. This is the ability to take that light in all that we do and let that guide our path, not separate from it, but at one with the very vision that we want, allowing that to guide us, knowing that every step is taking us towards that. It may not feel like it, but it is, and that's up to us to discover as we lead into the Chariot, to recognize that not all paths are straight, right? Most of it is a spiral. Most of it is going around doing the same thing on a different level. If that isn't the case and it's the same thing on the same level, dig deeper, go higher, do whatever you need to do to change that situation this week by looking at your own judgments behind your own journey and your own ability to create and your own light. Okay, so minor arcana, we have 1 that goes there, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 1 pentacle card, and it's the 7 of Pentacles. So that new beginning, that new physical beginning this week comes in recognizing how much we have grown. So when we know what we have done and we know where we have grown, we do not repeat the same lesson. Physically, really feeling that change before we react. Hang on, is this even relevant to me? Is this even mine? Or am I just being asked to witness something evaporating? Yeah, have I grown from this situation? If so, I don't need to repeat this. Knowing the endurances that are from the fates and the endurances that we bring on ourselves because we may not want to go deeper or we may not want to move forward. Really looking at that this week, really looking at secondary gains, really looking at our own shadow behind a situation. We then have, I need to share. Okay, so for me, a life that is easy and full of grace is beautiful, and I love the idea of that, but my goodness, it's like, oh, I need to really open up and be quite courageous to that energy as well, and that's my shadow. So really looking at what your shadow is, really looking at the path that you are walking, what you have gained, what you may need to still gain in regards to going deeper. Why is this happening? Why does this keep occurring? What am I trying to show myself? And it will be how much you've grown. Because anyone can say, you've done this, you've done that. You can have all the certificates in the world. But unless you have that belief in yourself and your own abilities, you're only reaching part of your magical potential. And it really is that simple. Okay, we then have 1 cup card, which is the 4 of Cups. So that new emotional beginning comes from the ability to sit with what is. To really sit with what is, rather than the knee-jerk reaction of filling in the gaps. To allow that void, pause, transition between what was and what is to come in. And it's human nature to avoid this. You know, not only just from trauma, but not only from trauma and, you know, the pain of sometimes just being with what is occurring, but also the fight or flight that is drummed into us for as long as man can remember, and also from society, that constant go, go, go. Pause this week. Give yourself the gift of presence. If you're going to give yourself anything, give yourself the gift of presence this week so that you can regain balance. We then have 2 wand cards. So that I say about regain balance, that balance comes from the Page of Wands and the 3 of Wands. Taking an idea, taking an inspiration, no matter how young it may feel, no matter how unready you may feel, and starting to put things into place in regards to taking it forward. So that may be seeking help from other people. That may be bringing aspects of your past and your future together and seeing what they have in common and what to then take forward from that. And that feels like key. And if you can't do that on your own, seeking help from other people. So I remember one year I did a list with my husband and my son and we wrote down all the things that we loved about each other and all the things that we didn't. And we wrote down all the things we loved about ourselves and all the things we wanted to change. And we worked out what they had in common. And that middle column was what actually moved us forward. Great cheerful days of Christmas at ours. It was New Year, I think, actually. But it just helped us to set those intentions. But really looking at what your past has in relation, in familiarity, in common with your future, and using that middle ground now to move forward. And then we have 1 sword card. So that new beginning comes with the 4 of Swords. That new beginning comes with the ability to just sit and pause and rest and let the mind have a breather this week as everything prepares to release. So the new beginnings physically and emotionally and mentally very much come from seeing how far we have grown, which can only be possible if we take time out, observing our thoughts, letting them move on, feeling our emotions, letting them ground out. Then we move forward. Okay, so with that in mind, I think we're going to do 1 more card overall for the week, and then I shall see you after Christmas. Okay, 1 more card. Universe, what is the gift? What is the gift of this week? So I don't want this gift. That's what I felt straight away. It was like, oh gosh. We have the 7 of Swords and the 6 of Cups. And we may, underneath is the Lovers. We get to choose, right, what the gift is this week. At a time of giving, at a time of receiving. I can hear the song, Christmas time. I think it's, I was going to say Clint Eastwood. Interesting. Yeah, hopefully everything is okay with him. I think he's an incredible actor. But it was Cliff Richards. At a time of giving and receiving and family, we get to decide what the true gift is. The 7 of Swords here. Don't let anyone or anything convince you otherwise. The gift is love. The gift is choosing love. The gift is receiving love. The gift is being of love, feeling love. Anything else, this week in particular, our own thoughts, our own emotions, our own actions, anything else that doesn't give us the gift and presence of love this week just isn't going to be enough to move forward into 2023. Yeah, the Hermit, Judgment, and the 4 of Pentacles. It's time to physically let go of the energetic views, beliefs, values that no longer serve us or our place and our very light here. Take care, have the most incredible solstice. May the light return with ease and grace home to where it belongs. Have the most wonderful full moon in Capricorn. May you find the sure footing, the grounding and the solid steps forward into 2023, and have the most incredible Christmas. May you feel the warmth and the love and the miracles of this time of year. I shall see you Boxing Day. Take care.